Now, the grooming of Bethany Platt by Nathan Curtis was one of the most controversial storylines Coronation Street has ever covered.
I'm being asked about Bethany. Is she a part of this or not?
Give me a minute. Did I say how gorgeous you are in that dress?
Well, feel free to say it again.
You are really turning me on. And not just me, either.
But even after leaving the show, the actor who played Nathan, Chris Harper, has continued to raise awareness of the exploitation of children, something he's now doing with the help of Girls Aloud star Nicola Roberts. So, here to tell us more, please welcome Chris and Nicola. It's still really uncomfortable watching this.
Yeah, me too.
You know, it's just... I can only imagine, we were just talking earlier on, to have taken on that role in the first place.
Yeah.
You knew what it was going to be about. You knew the reaction you were going to get. It wasn't an easy one.
No, I didn't expect it to be taken to as many people's hearts as it has been. I get approached all the time by people who either just love the show or it's actually affected them either directly or their family.
In a good way, though, or a bad way? Because sometimes people take soaps too seriously, don't they? So...
Do you know what? Touch mug. I've never had any abuse at all. It's been great.
Well,
it's more about
unusual,
the
isn't it?
storyline
Yeah.
that's actually affected people. Because I think people keep it secret. Especially sexual abuse has still got a lot of stigma about it, and the shame tends to live with the victim rather than the perpetrator, which is something...
Is that quite difficult for you to live with, essentially, is that people are coming to you and confessing and offloading some of the things and traumas that they might have been through in life? How do you deal with that?
Well, I'm very quick to pass it on. I'm just the actor. But that's why we're working with Bernardo's. I mean, at the moment, Bernardo's worked with over 300,000 children just in the last year. And their service managers are drawing attention now to the fact that a lot of the children who get embroiled in crime are being coerced or manipulated into it. And I think that's where the Corrie storyline really struck a note, is that you have to side with Bethany. You realise that whether it was crime like low violence or drugs or weapons or then sexual abuse and sexual exploitation, she was the victim the whole way through. And that's really what Bernardo's are doing now, is drawing attention to not the criminal activity, but the fact that these people are victims. These children are victims, first and foremost.
So, Nicola, you've been an ambassador with Bernardo's for some time, haven't you? So tell us a little bit more about this particular campaign.
Well, yeah, I've been working with Bernardo's, I think, maybe for the last 8 years, and visiting their projects, speaking to the social workers, some of the victims, the police, and just really getting more information of what actually happens out there. And at the moment, I'm trying to get a documentary commissioned to get PSHE made mandatory within schools so that every child, age appropriately, will be taught about sex ed, mental health, what's healthy in a relationship, what's not healthy in a relationship, how to spot behavioural patterns, and just campaigning really with the government to make that happen. They're kind of dragging their feet a little bit, which is annoying, but
not a surprise, though,
it's
is
politics.
it?
Yeah, exactly, and which is sad because you have all of the kids, the teachers, the parents screaming for this help and this education. But yeah, it just isn't passing the line. So hopefully if the documentary gets commissioned and everyone backs the campaign, then we can essentially shape a new generation of kids to feel less anxious. We're living in an internet age now where there was a statistic, like 90% of self-harm has gone up by 90% in girls, which to me screams because of social media. But yet there's no tools for the kids to navigate through this new way of life, which
Well,
is just
that's
crazy.
the thing, isn't it? There's a changing face of abuse now, which is very, very difficult to try and tackle. I mean, we weren't talking about this 50 years ago.
No.
And here we are talking about online grooming and a whole sort of section of stuff that We just didn't have to deal with it.
Stereotypes are old
Exactly.
hat. You know, the people who are vulnerable and the people who are carrying it out, those stereotypes are way out of date, and that's something that Javed Khan of Bernardo's is really keen to work on, and he's working very hard to unite, you know, with social care, schools, the government, local government, get as many sort of multi-agency people around a table to really start identifying who is most vulnerable and who's at risk.
Chris, you made a film, didn't you, to raise more awareness to that? And I assume that when you took on the role, you actually did loads of research, didn't you, before you took on the role? Is that what made you want to carry on working with Bernardo's and doing more for these vulnerable people?
Definitely. I mean, it was actually meeting victims that really struck me. Just how many people...
You met them in research for your role?
Yeah, for Nathan. And I'm very proud to be patron of a charity called Voicing CSA, and it's us that, with Slurpee Studios, got the mouse going. And that's available online, and we're now thrilled to know that the NHS are using it to train nurses, the police are using it to train people how to deal with people who are victims, and it's really difficult to come forward. If you've got historic abuse, or you're being abused now, or you're worried about somebody you love being abused, it's difficult. There's an outlet for that, but it is very hard to actually do that. And hopefully, this mouse cartoon is drawing attention to the fact you're not alone, it's not your fault, and there are people out there to help.
We're so passionate about that on here, aren't we? We had our Never Too Late to Tell campaign. And I mean, it can feel also overwhelming and what can be done, but actually it is amazing that we're having these conversations on television regularly, and we just have to keep that pressure up.
It's just annoying, I think, as a nation, we love to, like, fix something once it's broken instead of actually preventing it before it happens. Yeah. And I think with the education, I've been in my own situation with stalking, and had I have had the tools to spot behavioural patterns in somebody, I might not have ever ended up in that relationship. So if I'd have had those tools, you know, just think education from a young age is absolutely key.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And here we are talking about it, which again is the other aspect, isn't it? Well, it's incredible work you're both doing with it. Chris, what's sort of next for you now? Because I know you've sort of poured your life into this for the past, year at least, isn't it?
Yeah, well, I've just been on tour playing a sort of charismatic suicidal alcoholic. So I like to go,
sticking with this, the light-hearted stuff.
Yeah. I think, right up next, I hope, the Mouse has just won 2 big animation awards, one in Australia and one in Florida. I mean, it's just...
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
Watch it straight after the show?
Yeah, 90 seconds of your life. It'll last.
It's quite harrowing, though. It really does make a dent.
Yeah.
I watched it and was like, oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So we're desperate to make more because there's so many stories within stories. There's so many types of sexual abuse, sexual exploitation. And the guys behind Voicing CSA really want to make more. So it's getting out there, and we want to make more animations. So that's my next target.
Mm-hmm. And Nicola, any Girls Loud news? Coming back?
It's actually lovely that we're still continuously asked.
And are you all still friends?
Well, at the moment, I'm halfway through my record, and I've been helping Cheryl pull her record together for the last 6 months.
How is Cheryl?
She's good. She's
in the
okay.
news
I mean,
again.
I actually think what's been interesting this week is to see how, like, the misogyny through the media has played out. Like, there's been a couple of articles like, oh, you know, why can't she hold a man down and stuff like that? And it's just like...
It's not helpful, is it?
Yeah. Why can't a man hold her down, you know? But yeah.
Yeah, she's on the mend.
But she's good.
She's good. OK. Well, look, thank you very much. And hopefully we will see you all together soon then, if that's the case. Girls Alive. We'll all go, won't we?
Yeah.
Here's Carol's back after 5 years.
Well, I feel like sisters.
I see you guys do The Promise.
Yeah.
It was fun.
Oh, yeah, it wasn't for me. I was more nervous than I am now. That's great fun, actually.
Well, good luck with it all. Thank you very much, Chris and Nicola. And if you have, or indeed know anyone that has been affected by anything that we've just spoken about today, head over to our website. There's lots of helplines there as well.